Good morning. What I'm trying to do is chronicle my story here. In 1970 and 2011, February the 15th, I was moved into this facility. Now, these are all the people and agencies that I had to interact with to accomplish this goal. It took me 3 months to get moved in here from the year 2010, November the 15th. And that this is my mission focus board. And these are all the people that I had to interact with to accomplish this. Now, because I have a new iPhone and have never used an iPhone before, I don't know how to automatic zoom in and focus, but I do know how to record. And I'm recording this as a video record of my ordeal on these premises. The people I hope to contact and to get some type of support from and assistance. I hope for the first time in the history of Citrus that they are able to show some kind of backbone, some kind of organization, and actually be the support system that they said that they were going to be for me. Now, in the course of 3 years I've lived in this property, and I've never violated any of the conditions or any of the protocol, written or unwritten. Carmen Gomez is the person that I was initially contacted to get me into this facilities. And then after I was in this facilities at 2005, 2011, May, I was given the opportunity to come here under the umbrella of this organization, My Voice. Mercedes was one of the people that I was in contact with. My Voice, the other person that I was directly in contact with, My Voice. Now, my understanding was that this individual here, Manny Serrera, is a project manager, project organization, and that I had interacted and corresponded with him in a very successful manner and with dignity. However, I'm living in a hostile environment. I've had 2 people within 2 years die in the property next door to me. And I had also, as far as some people handle tragedy different than other people. Some people's personalities allow them to manage it without getting hysterical. I'm one of those persons. But I do try to work within the confines and the parameters given to me. And like I say, I treat people with respect on a human level and not on a business level. I don't ever mix business with personal issues. And this property here ran by an individual named Paul Bashar. Right here is a fence and a gate, which precipitated the exchange would happen at 9 o'clock last night, Paul comes to my house and told me I had to leave, that I was being immediately evicted. So I'm making this video record on my own behalf to illustrate the conditions in which I have to persist in. Yesterday morning, the person who lives in this apartment, who, by the matter of fact, is also a client of Citrus and My Voice, is now dead inside. And when I was here most of the day, the coroner never removed the body. And it's still inside, and it's evidence tape on the door. Evidence tape so that nobody can get inside. Evidence tape to be viewed, or if anybody ever watched the NCI, the evidence has to be processed. This is my apartment. This is my door. This is where I live. Like I said, I have had 2 people within 2 years die in this apartment. Now, in regards to the issue in which Paul came to my door in the middle of the night to tell me that I was to be kicked out of this property, out of these premises, were precipitated by a visit of a friend who was going to help show me how to operate my 4G. And in addition to that, that individual was trying to gain access to the property here. He's in contact with Carmen, and Carmen was going to see as far as getting him into living assistance property. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this flotation device is that when it initially came and it was sitting in front of my house, I had asked Jose to remove it. It was sitting in a box that's trash, and it was sitting in a box right in the corner by the fence on the pool. This here, and only because I don't know how to use the zoom, I would zoom in on this picture. But the reason that you see this box is the first evidence I like to present as far as disrespect and the adverse conditions that I'm living in. This is the individual here. His name is Paul Bushell. Paul Bushell. When this package arrived at my house, I called and asked him, why is Jose leaving garbage in the front of my door? His response was that, move it yourself. And I did. That's why you see it here. Now, this is the other situation that I confronted him with last night, as far as if he had obtained any type of city certificate or release, or did he get a certificate to turn his driveway into a car manufacturing facility. And I asked him last night, was he running an auto maintenance shop in the driveway, and that is probably a violation of some type of city ordinance, seeing how this is supposed to be residential property and not a car paint shop. And if you can see on the ground, the boards with the paint spray, when they initially started this project, there was paint sprays going in the house. There was dust when he was doing the grinding and the sanding that was going in the air, and it's right next to the laundry room. This laundry room, you can see, has new machines. These new machines was because the cleaning ladies complained about not having a sufficient amount of laundry capacities. This created an emergency and facilitated Paul Michelle to come in my house unannounced and without any posted notification or even a courtesy phone call, which I asked him if he had a problem with me hanging my clothes up from the laundry. As you can see, there's only one machine that works. You cannot use the other machine. And people were putting their money in it and losing their money. And when I became aware of that, instead of calling Paul, I strung up a clothesline to dry my clothes. And I told him it was an emergency. But as I say, as you can see, it is done repeatedly, and it is done by everybody who washed their clothes here, in addition to me. And I explained that to him, that I thought that him and Jose were racist, and that there's rules for the English-speaking people and there's rules for the Latin people. And anytime Jose get a burr up his butt, the English people suffer. And as far as my situation last night, I done had two people die next to me. Now one is a crime scene. I'm traumatized. I'm in a situation where that I felt that I should have been given some kind of consideration for whatever experience that happened that facilitated Jose to knock on my door and to complain to me about a situation that I knew nothing about, and in addition to, could not control. Now, I've already made a video earlier, and in regards to the said person visiting my facility to see the apartments, hoping that they will be able to gain access to one of the apartments here. Now, apartment 24 is free. Sasha's dead inside, so number 2 is free too. This is also another situation that occurred earlier in the year where they had to augment the water line in regards to facilitating the water pressure necessary to use on high-grade industrial washers. When this line was put in, and I told my community therapist about it, that I was susceptible, that if there was a water problem issue, that I would pay the additional cost for the water line, and that this particular water line that you see here is not specs, is not building code, is something that you do on a temporary basis and without a permit. Now, they were in my house unannounced, unexpected, for 4 days, putting this line into the bathroom and into the kitchen. I had holes in the ceiling and the walls. David and Mr. Gustavo can testify to that because I had them take pictures. And in regards to being in a hostile environment, I would truly must say that I must be in that situation to have a man come out to my house in the middle of the night for trivial issues that when I had a major concern, I called him, I called my counselor, and I told my community worker, and I also told their boss, Tony. Now, my situation is that they have people parked in the driveway. The health inspector, since I've been here, told them that this is a safety violation. There should be no cars in the driveway so that safety vehicles can have access, unlimited access, and not have to try to move around any cars. Also, the situation is when they leave in the morning, they idle their cars and they just sit here. Those fumes go into the apartment. I've complained about that, and it only happened twice that the health department came out and told them that they are not allowed to park in these facilities in this space, but however, they do what they damn well please. And this video record of this circumstances that I'm in is my way to ever, or if I'm ever allowed to get my piece or to say my piece, this is what I'm gonna do. Give them a PowerPoint presentation and show them that as far as Jose, and Jose is a property manager, look at all the debris. Look at this. If he would manage the property and do his job instead of harassing me, this wouldn't be here. This would be moved. Look at it. It's a disgrace. It's a mess. Trash and debris all over the place. He doesn't do his job, but he likes to throw around his authority. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a man. And if you get in my face, I'm gonna stand my ground. I don't have nothing left but my dignity. And I'm gonna try to keep that intact. Now this is the water line that I was going into the street. Once again, not in code, no permit, done expediently with no regards to the tenants. But it's a disgrace. Somebody's supposed to clean, supposed to maintain the property. He's not doing his job. And that's what I told him when he tried to tell me that I was in violation of his bullshit codes. And I told him, hey dude, this is America. All the rules are to go for everybody. You don't have rules for the Latins and then rules for the English. Everybody is paying the same amount of rent. Everybody should be treated respectfully. And I don't feel that I've been afforded